Just a moment. All right. Good evening. Welcome to High Performance Live with me, Kayode Kolade. It's great to have you here once again. This is High Performance Live, where we talk about the tools, tips, skills, and strategies, the principles and practices to help you and I be those high performers that God has created us to be. Us all about living a high performing, wealthier, healthier life. That's what this session is all about. Every Friday, between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. West African time, I always go live right here on my channel. And I'm so happy to be here again. It's another Friday evening, and I'm so happy to be here again doing this with you in another live session. Yes, it's another Friday evening. How are you doing? It's great to have you here again. If this is your first time, welcome. Welcome to High Performance Life. It's great to have you here. If this is not your first time, welcome back, dear high performer. It's also great to have you here. How has been your week? It's the end of another week. How has been your week? I hope you've had a very, very fruitful and productive week. Congratulations again for making it into the second half of the year. Monday was July 1st, and just like that, we're already 5 days into the new month and 5 days into the second half of the year. I'm sure you are making progress towards those goals that you want to achieve. Just want to say very big, well done to you. And that's why I'm here this evening to check up on you, to check up on how you are coming along, even as we have begun the second half of the year and as we have begun a brand new month, and just to make sure that we are actually making progress, that you and I are making progress, we are moving closer to all those goals that we want to achieve. And that's the essence of this session. So you remember how we do it, right? Three big ideas every time that we come on in our high performance life: what we are grateful for, the lessons that we are learning, and what we are looking forward to in the upcoming week. Hi, Katik, bye. So that's what it's about. That three for the lesson that we are learning and what we are looking forward to. Excuse me. In the upcoming week. So for me, I'm grateful for another opportunity to be here. It's the first Friday in the brand new month of July. I'm so grateful to be here. Um, excuse me. The lesson that I'm learning is what I'm just going to be talking about in the next couple of minutes, and that's going to be some big ideas that you and I can put in place to make the most of the second half of this year 2024. That's what I'm going to be talking about very quickly. And then what I'm looking forward to in the upcoming week that we're going into is a brand new video that I have coming out on Sunday, and it's about how to find and release the seeds of greatness that you have inside you, that I have inside me. That's what that video is going to be about. I just want to say a very big thank you to you, everyone here that not only has subscribed but has been watching the videos on my channel, has been liking, has been sharing them. You guys are the real MVP, and I just want to say a very big thank you. Just like I said, if this is your first time, it's not an accident that you are seeing this face right now on the screen. Make sure that you subscribe, you hit that subscribe button. It's not a mistake that you're seeing this face. Hit that subscribe button. One thing that I can assure you is that this is that channel that you will learn those very powerful insights to help you become everything that God has created you to be. One thing I always talk about is that it's a journey. I don't claim to have all the answers. I don't claim to have everything figured out. But one thing that I keep saying is that let's go along on this journey. Let's go along on this journey, becoming everything that God has created us to be. There is power in synergy. There's power when you go along with other people, and that's the essence. That's the essence of my channel, and that's why I invite you to make sure that you hit that subscribe button. One thing I can assure you is that every Sunday I post a brand new form video. Every Sunday, I have daily shots coming out, have polls that come out on a regular basis, almost on a regular basis, just everything just to remind you of this journey of high performance that we are on, and to give you little bits of insights where a little bit of flashlights, and to help you make those necessary changes, those necessary adjustments, or to remind you that, oh, okay, yes, I'm on the right path. And so to, just to keep doing more of it. Hi, Carla. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Great to have you here. Oh, you love my videos. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carla, for that. Really, really do appreciate the love. It's great to have you here. Where are you watching from, Carla? Let me know in the comments. Kartik, I guess you are watching from India, if I'm not mistaken. I know Kartik is an Indian name, but let me know where you're watching from, Kartik. And anyone that is joining them, just make don't be a stranger. Let me know where you are watching from. So it's great, 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 awesome, awesome, awesome stuff to have you here. Brand new month, brand new second half of the year, and we are making progress towards those goals that we want to achieve. Great, 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 great. So let me know. Type right there in the comments. What, even as we have begun the second half of the year, what are you grateful for? What is that thing that you are grateful for? Let me know right there in the comments. What is that lesson that you learned from the first half of the year 2024? Those life lessons, or it could be lessons surrounding your business, could be lessons surrounding your relationships, could be lessons surrounding your finances that you learned from the very first half of this year. Let me know right there in the comment section. And what's your plan, even as we have begun the second half of this year? Because just like that, it's 6 months already. Before you know it, we are going to be talking about December, the end of the year 2024. We're going to be talking about 2025, right? I remember how so many years ago 2025 looked so far to me, as in it just looked like the far, 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 far future. But interestingly, here we are, just few more months to go to 2025. So, what exactly, what's your strategy as you go into the second half of the year? Oh, how to follow celibacy? I honestly don't know how to follow celibacy. I really don't know anything about that, but there are great stuff online that you can check out. Definitely, I'm sure that that will help you greatly. So very, very quickly, I said I'll just share with us some quick big ideas to help us make the most of the second half of the year. Even as we go into the second half of the year, what are those big ideas that I believe that can help us on our high performance journey? And it was specifically last week I got an email, and in that email, the email was from Sahil Bloom. I think that's his name, Sahil Bloom, if I got the name right. And his newsletter, and he was sharing some big ideas of some things that he too discovered online. And he shared this interesting picture that he too found very inspiring, and that had powerful lessons that has also helped him on his life journey, thinking about success and everything. And the title of that image was "Think Like a Farmer." Think like a farmer, and under that title were seven basic principles that farmers apply when with regards to farming. But the interesting thing is that those same principles apply to life, apply to life apply to whatever area of life, be it your business, be it your academics, be it your finances, be it your relationships. And so, if there's anything that has been going through my head as we go into the second half of the year, is just that thing that think like a farmer, think like a farmer. And yes, I know that you don't have particularly have a farm, but the one thing I can assure you is that your life is your farm, and you are responsible for taking care of that farm. You are responsible for the outcome, you are responsible for the results that come from that farm. So, yes, you might not have a physical farm, maybe where you are planting crops or where you are raising animals. But one thing that I can assure you is that your life, my life, is our farm. And it is our responsibility. No other person is going to take care of that farm for us except we take care of it. And that's why, if we are going to see a greater level of productivity, even as we go into the second half of this year, then we need to have that mindset of a farmer towards the farm, which is our lives right now. And so seven very quick ideas that I saw in that particular image, and I said I will share with us today, that I believe that will help us even as we go into the second half of the year. The very first thing there under think like a farmer. Remember, just like I said, your farm is your life. My farm is my life. You might not have a physical farm, but your life is a farm. And how do you get the most out of your life? How do you become more productive, become more fruitful in your life, even as going to the second half of the year? Number one thing that was mentioned there, the first key principle there is that don't shout at your crops. Don't shout at your crops. And now for me, the big idea there is that yes, you have when you are frustrated, you are angry, there's that thing where you just want to blow the top of your head off because you are frustrated by the results that you are getting, right? You are either frustrated by the results in your business or frustrated by the results in your finances or in your career or your relationships. And so the very first instinct that we have is to be frustrated at the results, want to be angry at the results. But then you realize that for a farmer, what he realizes that his crops are the direct product of the seeds that he has planted. So if he does not like the crops, instead of getting angry at the crops, what he simply needs to do is to do what? Is to change the seeds that he's planting, is to change the seeds that he's planting. And for me, that's just what it is. That whatever results that we might have seen in our life thus far is as a result of the things that we did or didn't do in time past. And so any results that we are going to see in our lives moving forward, then there's deliberate things that we need to start doing today until we change the until we change our actions, until we change our thought patterns, until we change the things that we do, we cannot begin to see different results, right? And so it's very, very important that instead of wasting all the energy to get angry at the results, to be frustrated at the results, simply change the seeds. Change the seeds and you will change the results. Change your thoughts, change your actions, change the words, change your behavior, and you will ultimately change your results. And for me, that's just what it is, that the results aren't fixed. Isn't that the best news ever? Because there's just that thing where you are at that particular point in your life where you are frustrated, where you feel like you're on the same spot and it just feels like there is no way out. But one thing that the farmer understands is that there is always a way out. All he simply has to do is to change the seeds that he's planting. If you change the seeds, you change the crops. If you change your behavior, you will change your results. If you change your attitude, you will change your results. And so that's just what it is, that our results aren't fixed. That's the good news I bring to you today. Whatever results that you might have seen in the first half of this year, whether you are satisfied with them or you aren't satisfied with them, the beautiful news is that they aren't fixed, they aren't permanent. You can begin to make the necessary changes today to change the kind of results that you want. Then the second thing that is mentioned there is don't, I said, first of all, do not shout at the crops. Number two is do not pull out your crops before they have had time to grow. Do not pull out your crops before they have had time to grow. Now, what this simply means is that in anything that we are doing, even as we enter into the second half of this year, it is very, very important that we allow time for patience. It's very, very important that we allow time for patience. Even as you go about investing those seeds to change the results that you want to change. Like, very, very practical example right now is okay, maybe perhaps you are frustrated where you are in terms of your fitness, you are frustrated about where you are in terms of your health and your fitness. Now, just like the very first point says, that don't shout at the crops. Instead of getting angry and frustrated about where you are in terms of your health and fitness, all it's simply telling you is that if you start changing your behaviors, if you start changing your action, you change your attitude, you can have different results tomorrow. You can begin to change your results even today if you make those changes in your behavior and your actions. For me, and that's what's so powerful, that where you are in terms of your health, your fitness, that we're using as an example, is not a permanent place. You can change, you can evolve, you can bring forth different results if you'll be willing to change your actions. Now, the second thing is don't pull out your crops before they have had time to grow. In whatever thing that you are doing this second half of this year, whatever goal that you have set, please allow time for patience, allow time for growth, allow time for maturity. It's very, very important, because what eventually happens is that most times we've started well, we've started right. It's a new season. We've started putting in the right seed, the right behavior, the right actions, but somewhere along the line we say, okay, this thing is not happening fast enough. It's not happening fast enough. The crops are not growing. The crops are not growing fast enough. We forget that every crop, every seed that we plant will go through its normal process. Will go through its normal season. There is nothing that you do that will make that crop, that will make that seed proceed at a faster rate. It has its normal gestation period. It has its normal season that it must go through if eventually you will enjoy the results at the end of the day. And so for me, that's just what it is, that allow time, allow time. Let time be your friend. Let not time be your enemy. Don't be at that place where you are saying, oh, it's not happening fast enough. Oh, I'm frustrated by time. And then you should short cycle the process. The worst thing you will do is to stop that thing that you have started doing. The worst thing you will do ever is to stop that thing that you have started doing. So keep at it. Allow time. Allow the process. Allow yourself to go through the process. Allow yourself time for growth. Allow yourself time to build those positive habits that you want to build. It will take time. It will take time, but at the end of the day, you will be very, very grateful that you stuck to the process, because once you have mastered those things, nobody can take it away from you. That's just the truth. Once you have allowed the process of maturity to happen, nobody can take it away from you. Those crops are yours, those results are yours, and you will definitely, absolutely be proud of yourself. So remember, do not shout at the crops. Don't be frustrated about the results. The results are only proofs. The results that you have today are only proofs of the seeds that you sowed yesterday. So if you want to see different results tomorrow, start sowing different seeds today. Do not complain that the crops are not growing fast enough, and then you now go and then pull them out before they've had time to grow. Those are the three first principles about thinking like a farmer. The number four thing is that um, choose the best plants. Yes, I remembered. I almost forgot. Choose the best plants. Choose the best crops for your soil. Choose the best plants or choose the best crops for your soil. And that's just what it is. It's just so important that whatever that you are going to do, give it your best. Let excellence be your watchword, even as we go into the second half of this year. Let excellence be your watchword. Don't be casual. Don't just be interested. Be committed to that thing that you are doing. Take a closer look. Give it your focus. Give it your full attention. Remember that every day is a gift from God, and the way that we handle it is our own gift back to Him. And so that's just what it is, that it's our responsibility to make the most of each and every day. Because it's so interesting that our time here on earth is measured. And what it simply means that every time we get into a new season, even after we have started the final lap of this year 2024, all it just simply means is that life is happening, life is going, life is happening as you and I are talking right now. And I'm so grateful that you are here, paying attention and giving me your time right now. And that's why it's so important that in whatever thing that we are giving our time to, we must make sure that they are things that are adding value to us. We must make sure that they are the things that are bringing value back into our lives, because we can't afford to waste time. We can't afford to squander time. We can only invest time. And that's why it's just so important that make sure that you are choosing the best plants for your soil. You are choosing the best seeds for your soil. This is not the time. I remember that was a few days ago. I love, and I think it was James Clear. I was reading his newsletter, and I love his particular take on productivity. I think he too heard it from somebody, and he was saying that before you think about being productive, think about being selective. I'll say that again. Before you think about being productive, think about being selective. And what that simply means is that even as we go into the second half of this year, let that be your motto. That to be productive, you need to be selective. You need to be selective. The farmer does not just see any seed and plant it into the ground. What he does is that the farmer that is expecting a high yield in his harvest, what does he do? He looks for the best. He looks for the best seeds to plant in his soil, to plant in his farm, because he knows the kind of yields that he's expecting. And so for me, that's just what it is. That are you deliberately choosing the best seeds for your farm, choosing the best seeds for your life? Are you investing your time into the thing that will add tremendous value, add remarkable value to your life? And for me, that's just what it is. That in anything, in any area, just go for the best. Let excellence be your watchword. It's very important. Number five, I think that's no okay, I've shared four now. So number five is irrigate and fertilize. Irrigate and fertilize. Even as you plant your seeds and as you choose the best seeds to plant, irrigate and fertilize. It's very, very important. Make sure that you are not only planting the seeds, but you are watering, you are watering your farm, watering the soil, bringing in everything that to make it grow and to make it grow healthy. Get that support that you need. Don't try to do it alone. Get input from other people, get input from outside sources. It's very, very important. I see irrigation and fertilizing too as praying. Make sure that you are praying in this particular second half of this year, in this particular season. Make sure that you are praying. It's not just enough to sow the seeds, but make sure that you are watering the seeds in the place of prayer. It's very important. Make sure that you are taking your spiritual life very, very seriously. It's very, very important. Get mentoring, get coaching, get a support system. Do everything that you can to make sure that that seed thrives, to make sure that that seed does well, even as we go into the second half of the year. So that's number five. Number six is remove weeds. Number six is remove weeds. And what that simply means, you already know it. What that simply means is that everything that doesn't really add value to you, it's simply a distraction. And what it just simply means is that remove it before it detracts you, right? Distraction has only one goal, and that is to get you off track. That's to get you off track towards those goals that you want to achieve, or anything that is going to get you off track in this second half of this year 2024 is a weed, and you need to take care of it before, I'm not going to say the other parts, right? Before it achieves the goal that it wants to achieve. So take it out. It's so interesting that weeds sounds like seeds, and that's just what it is. That it's so interesting how many times we think we are planting seeds when in reality we are planting weeds. We are doing everything except the needle moving activities that will move our life forward. We are engaged in so much busy work, but we're not doing our life's work. We're doing every other thing. We are so busy, so full of activity, but we're not being productive. We are not seeing, we're just going through the motions, but we're not making any significant movement or significant progress forward because we are not doing the needle moving things. We're not doing the needle moving tasks that will actually move us forward. And so that's just what it is. That any other thing that is just all time consuming, but is not adding value, but is not directly linked to that goal you want to achieve, it's simply a weed, no matter how good it is. Because here it is, there are some weeds that look very nice, that look very attractive, that even look edible, but that is not the crop yield you are after. That is not the harvest that you are after. And so, no matter how beautiful, no matter how appetizing it looks, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Anytime I think of distractions, one thing that always comes to my mind is that scene in the popular Matrix movie, right, where Morpheus is training Neo in about the Matrix, and they are in the simulation, and the lady in the red dress passes by Neo, and guess what Neo does? Neo turns to look at the very attractive lady in the red dress, And Morpheus quickly asked him, "Were you actually listening to me, or were you looking at the lady in the red dress?" And he's trying to mumble his answer. And Morpheus says, "No problem, look again." And the interesting thing is that as he turns to look again at the lady in the red dress, what does he see? He sees an agent pointing a gun at his head, and that's when Morpheus says, "Freeze." And it's interesting that Morpheus says to him that one thing that you need to understand is that anybody in the matrix that is not one of us is one of them. That is one of the agents, is one of the computer system, and they have only one goal, and that goal is to destroy you. That goal is to get you off track. So it's very important to stay focused. If there's anything that we need to hammer on, that we need to have more of, even as we go into the second half of this year, myself included, myself self, number one, is that we need to be disciplined. We need to be disciplined. We need to be disciplined. We need to get rid of the weeds of indiscipline. We need to be focused and get rid of all distractions. And then the final thing to think like a farmer to make the most of the second half of this year is this, and that is to remember that there will be different kind of seasons. There will be good seasons, there will be bad seasons. You cannot control the weather. All you can do is to prepare for it. So like it has happened many times. Many of us have gone into a new year or into a new season, into the second half of the year, with all these great plans and all these great ideas to hit the road running, to execute, and to succeed and to hit our goals and our target. And guess what? You get into that particular season and then COVID happens, right? You can imagine how the year 2020 was for like everybody getting into this brand new year. Oh, 2020, it's a new decade, it's going to be an exciting time. And then from nowhere, COVID happens. Nobody saw it coming. Well, maybe some people saw it coming, but most people didn't see it coming. And guess what? Many goals and many plans had to be shelved because of this threat that everybody was dealing with at that time. And it has not just only been in 2020, in different years. It's either maybe it's an economic policy or a government policy. Just something happens that sometimes, just you didn't just see coming, and you lose your balance. You lose your balance, and you are almost in that place where you are really wondering what's happening. And that's why it's so important that we think like a farmer, because the farmer understands that he cannot control the weather. That's one thing about farmers, and that's why they continue to thrive in whatever season that happens. Instead, what they do is that they prepare for the season because they know they cannot control the weather. So instead, they learn to be prepared. When there is a change in weather, is either maybe they are making some adjustments to protect the seeds that they have planted, or they change the seeds totally to fit the new season or to fit whatever weather that is happening at that particular moment. And so for me, that's just what it is. That even as we go into this second half of this year, um, we need to go with that mindset that we can't control everything. You can't control the weather. Your job is not to control the things happening outside you. Your job is to control the things happening in your heart. Your job is to control your mindset. Your job is to control your own actions. Your job is to prepare, to make sure that you prepare. And the only way to get prepared is to make sure that you are properly trained, to make sure that you are getting that training, you are getting that knowledge, you are learning, you are putting yourself in that place where you are building strength, right? You are building strength for those things that you want to do. You are building strength for, because you need strength, you need energy. It's the very wise King Solomon that said that if you fail in the day of adversity, it just simply means that your strength is small. What he just simply means is that the day of adversity is not the day to now start trying to be strong. It's not the day to start trying to build strength. Your job and my job, our responsibility is to have been building strength way ahead before the adversity comes, so that when the adversity comes, we are well prepared to handle whatever thing comes our way. And so that's just what it is, that you don't rise to the level of your expectation, you fall to the level of your training. And that's why it's so important that how are we training ourselves? How are you fortifying your mind? How am I fortifying my mind? This is one particular time where the truth about it is we need to take the study of scriptures more seriously, more than ever, because that's where our future lies. Our future does not lie in any way outside God and outside of His Word. And so that's why we need to make sure that our minds are fortified with God's Word to be able to enter and make the most of the future that is ahead of us, the future that is right in front of us, to make the most of the next 6 months, because that's just what it is. So just make sure that you are getting prepared, make sure you are fortifying yourself. And I absolutely see us getting those results in those areas of our lives, even as we go into the second half of this year. So that's it. Very, very quick. 7 big ideas. Think like a farmer. Think like a farmer. Remember, your farm is your life, and you and I, we are farmers of that life. It's our responsibility to be from the beginning. And that's why thank you so much for being here. Don't forget I'm done. I'm done. I promised I was going to make it short and sharp. Don't forget the new video that is coming out on Sunday, how to find and release your greatness. How to find and release your greatness. Do me a big favor. Watch the video first of all. Make sure that you like the video and share it with a friend. It's just going to be a very great and powerful way to start a new week. That's one thing I can assure you. For you and for that your friend, they'll be so grateful to you for sharing that video with them. And I'm sure that you've hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can be aware immediately that video drops on Sunday. Just like I said, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. It means a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So look out for that video. Look out for other great stuff coming out even as we begin a new week. And I know that even as we go into the weekend and begin a new week, it's going to be a very, very productive week for you and for me. So thank you once again. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your time with friends, family, even as going to the weekend and prepare for the new week. Talk to you soon. Your greatness is very sure.